Lana is a married woman and the mother of an adorable girl. She works as a high school teacher and does not know how to deal with the obnoxious student Benny. She likes him and is attracted to him. After an erotic dream with Benny, she wakes up in bed with her husband Ward and their daughter, Raja. After spending time with her daughter, Lana goes for a morning run and relaxes by the lake afterwards. Upon arriving at work, the woman gives a test to her students. After handing out the assignment, she notices that Benny isn't writing anything and undresses her with a look. Lana averts her eyes in embarrassment. After school, the woman picks up her daughter from school. Putting the child in the car, she watches Benny walk his dog. The woman doesn't take her eyes off him, clearly thinking about something forbidden, and then drives off. Jeremy, one of Lana's students, makes a presentation during which two students look at their phones and giggle. The teacher admonishes them and asks them to put their gadgets away, but the girls ignore her. Then Lana takes the cell phones herself, promising to return them after class. Valerie, one of the girls, insults the woman, causing laughter from the other students. This was the reason for calling the parents to the principal. In the common room over a cup of tea, Lana sees Benny hitting on Valerie through the window. The boy throws everything out of her bag and then throws her classmate's bicycle. The next day, Lana leaves Benny after class to talk. She inquires about his mood, showing genuine concern for him. Without even noticing it, she puts her hand on the boy's knee and asks him if he needs help. She catches the boy's gaze and sharply pulls her hand away, and the boy smiles and flirts with her, telling her exactly what kind of help he needs. The teacher claims she's only worried because of his failed test of course, which she administered recently. Benny doesn't believe it and laughs it off. He asks the teacher to confess his true desires. Finding herself in an awkward position, Lana changes the subject and leaves under a made-up pretext. The next morning while jogging, the girl stops to catch her breath by the lake and think about her desires after class. The woman notices Benny's bag on the floor. Looking inside and making sure no one is around, she pulls out the teenager's sweatshirt and inhales its scent. Putting it back, the woman hears the sound of the bathroom door slamming behind her. Lana encounters the object of her fantasies. The young man shamelessly touches the woman's breasts and begins to kiss the neck, almost giving in to impulses of passion. Lana still finds the strength to interrupt this madness. She asks Benny to forget what just happened by promising to expel him if he decides to share his adventures with his friends. When the boy tries to explain that he sees the teacher attracted to him, Lana assures him that he is too young for her, and then leaves. The next day in the school hallway, Benny asks the teacher out, but the woman refuses. She takes him aside and apologizes for what happened between them the day before. The woman begs the teenager to forget about her, assuring him that everything that happened was a big mistake. The woman goes to the parking lot and sees her car window broken. She gets in and drives to Raja's school to pick up her daughter. Warren wonders what happened to the car. In response, Lana lies, assuring him that she was in a minor accident. The man doesn't believe the story, but doesn't choose to find out the truth. At school during class, Lana asks her students if they understand the subject. Benny raises his hand and taunts the teacher, alluding to her connection to the school principal. The class starts laughing and the teacher sends Benny to the principal, to which the boy responds with an even blacker joke. The angry girl throws the student's bag out the door and tells him to get out. When one of the students throws a rag at the teacher, she runs out of the classroom, unable to contain her emotions. The next day, the telephone rings repeatedly in Lana's house, but as soon as she picks up the receiver, the caller either cuts off the call or remains silent. When she returns to school and sees Benny, the woman panics and pretends not to feel well and goes home. At dinner, the girl tries to act as naturally as possible when her husband asks her how her day was. In the morning, after sending Raja to school, Instead of going to work, Lana goes to the lake, where she plunges into her forbidden fantasy world with a student. Afterwards, the woman goes to a museum to get her mind off things. What was her surprise when among the exhibits she met Benny? Lana is ready to run away, but they find themselves in an elevator alone. The boy confesses that he misses the woman and asks her to return to school. The young man then proceeds to caress, while Lana herself tries to kiss the object of her fantasies. The guy allows himself just unacceptable things. Realizing that the welfare of her family is at stake, the woman decides to take extreme measures. She sneaks into the administrator's office, steals the exam paper and puts it in Benny's coat to frame him for the next day. All the students have gathered in the cafeteria for lunch. Lana watches them from the break room while talking to the other teachers. She sees Benny being picked up by security, and afterwards the boy is expelled from the school. After a while, Lana walks with her daughter through a bookstore and buys a gift for a girlfriend. Raja asks to buy her a toy, but upon being refused, she resents her mother. After losing the child, the woman becomes hysterical when she realizes she is not in the store. Lana goes to the police. Surveillance cameras show that Benny, has been following her the whole time the woman has been in the store. It was he who followed Raja when she ran out into the street resenting her mother. The woman panics, but a phone call from her husband brings her back to reality as Ward informs her that the girl is home and all is well. After apologizing to the police, Lana hurries home. At night, the girl hears a methodical knock on the door. After shouting curses into the darkness, the lady of the house goes back inside. After closing the doors, the woman returns to her forbidden fantasy with Benny as the main character. In the morning, the girl shows maximum tenderness to her husband. Then, left alone, she drives to Benny's house and watches him from afar. The young man gets on his scooter and goes somewhere. Lana, of course, follows him. In an abandoned neighborhood, the woman speeds up and hits the guy. Then she parks and waits a while before getting out of the car. Most likely she straightened out the guy and could have just succumbed to her desires.